Commissioner Lewis has an excused absence. Commissioner Russell, we understand he'll be running late. Chair Smith,
Present.
Vice Chair Udabi.
Present.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Gulak. Next, we have item C. This is amendments or an approval of the agenda. We will make one amendment to the agenda. We'll be moving public comment up between the 5:15 and the 6:15 presentation. And that will be the only noted change. So I'll be looking for a motion to approve the agenda with the one amendment regarding the position of the public comment.
So moved.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Do we have a second?
Support it.
Thank you all. All in support of approving the agenda and the amendment as described, indicate your support with the sign of aye.
Aye.
Aye. And opposition, sign of nay. All right, the agenda has been approved, noting the amendment to the public comment section. Next, we have the meeting minutes for July 17th, 2025. Looking for a motion to approve the meeting minutes for the July 17th, 2025 meeting as presented.
So moved. Support.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Bennett, and then I heard Commissioner Daniels with the second. All in support of approving the July 17, 2025 meeting minutes, indicate your support with the sign of aye.
Aye.
And opposition, sign of nay. All right, the July 17th meeting minutes have been approved. Next, we have a 5:15 presentation, and this is regarding a correction of zoning map 71 along the south side of West 7 Mile between Lasser and Glenhurst. And Mr. Jeffries, will you be helping us out this evening with this item?
Mr. Chair, that'll actually be me helping
All
with
right.
that one.
Whenever you're ready, Mr. Burr.
Okay, may I share my screen?
Yes, you may.
Okay. Good evening, Commissioners. As you mentioned, this is for a map correction on map 71 at the site of the former Rogel Golf Course. This site is located in District 1, and more specifically, there are two areas as shown on the map. The first one being bound by a 7-mile road to the north, Lasser to the east, Berg to the west, and there's an east-west line, 114.96 feet, south of West 7-Mile Road. The other area is bounded by 7 Mile to the north, Berg to the east, Glenhurst to the west, and then there is another east-west line, 145.5 feet, going south from 7 Mile. So some history and other items that are going to be coming before this commission in the future. These subject properties were historically zoned for commercial uses. And I'll show a map in a moment. In the 1942 zoning ordinance, these were shown as B2 zoning classification. Somewhere in the 1950s, the 60s, it was rezoned to B4, which it was and should still be. I'll show a map that was published in 2000 with ordinance number 27-00, and that shows the properties as B4. The next amendment to map 71 was in 2004, at which time the map that was published no longer showed the B4 zoning and instead showed R1, which is what the property to the south, which is still golf course property, was showing. Since the map was published in 2004, there have been recent requests for a rezoning and a master plan amendment of the former golf course. And that allowed us for further research of the error that we found, staff found when researching the planned development districts that had been being brought to you. So it gave us a chance to do further research, and now a correction is necessary. So just for more context, and I know these are not super clear to read, which is why I didn't shade anything in, it made it worse. But this is the 1942 zoning ordinance map 71, and both of these spots are seen as B2 zoning in this map. Again, this is the 1998 map, which, one published in 1998 with ordinance number 27-98, and it shows the B4 zoning, which is the zoning that it should still be now. And this is our existing map 71, which was published with ordinance number 32-15. And as you can see on this map, and as I said, I know these are not terribly clear, there, all of that B4 zoning that was there in the 98 map, it became R1 in this map. So this was never part of an ordinance. There is no ordinance rezoning the land to R1. This was just a Scrivener's error that now needs to be corrected. We did have a property line survey done. You can see this shows the first area there. And there is a very small faint line there in the middle of that northern property that shows the line where these properties would have ended when they were their own parcels, and where the zoning classification is at, where that should be brought back and corrected to B4. And this is a aerial view of the area that has been proposed for rezoning and a master plan amendment. That'll be coming before the commission, likely in the beginning of next year. But they are asking for that site for multifamily housing. As I said, that project will come before you next year. So that is all that I have. If there are any questions on this?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. I do have one question. Are we doing the scripter's error kind of correction today, and then later there's going to be another change that is this a requirement to get the changes done later?
So we are trying to correct the map prior to the rezoning coming before us.
Gotcha.
We have not, it has not been fully decided as to what the site will be proposed for in the rezoning. So yes, that will be coming before you. This is just one step in that process.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Commissioners, do we have any questions? All right. There are no questions. So are you looking for action this evening? Is that kind of what you're expecting to do today?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And when we arrive at that point, will this require a waiver of the same action requirements?
Mr. Chair, yes, we are asking for a recommendation from the commission on this. I don't think it would require the waiver of the same day action.
Okay.
I can double check. But based on your recommendation, then we would forward a report and resolution to City Council for consideration. So it's not an ordinance, but I can double check. We're asking that you table this until after public comment. So.
Yeah. Okay. While you're looking that up, and if there are no other comments or questions from my commissioners here, then we will table this item until after the public comment portion of the agenda, which is what we moved up in our amendments to the agenda. So we will table the 5:15 presentation to the call of the chair, and then we will take up the public comment portion of our agenda. As custom with our public comments, it's an opportunity for residents to participate in the meeting and provide comments or ask questions about items on the agenda or items not on the agenda. You can participate in two methods. If you're here in person, you can get staff a yellow comment card, and if you are participating virtually within the Zoom platform, you can raise your hand, and then we'll acknowledge you and bring you over, and then you can speak at that point. With that, we will go and open public comment. Ms. DeBrewer, will you be helping us out with public comment this evening?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
All right. We will start virtually. Do you see any virtual hands?
Mr. Chair, there are no hands raised.
Okay. If there are no virtual hands, we will look in person. Do we have any in-person comments?
Mr. Chair, we do not.
All right. We have no in-person comments and no virtual comments. So with that, we will go and close public comment. And we will go back to our 5:15 presentation, or at least action. So staff, can we have a recommendation?
Mr. Chair,
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, I did check the bylaws. Yes, you, since this is the first time, well, the same-day action relates to any action taken by the commission. So it appears since this matters has not come to the commission prior, you would have to waive the same-day action. We'd need to waive the same-day action guidelines
Okay.
in order to vote on this.
Okay, thank you. Can you share staff's recommendation, and then we'll go through that motion after?
yes, Mr. Chair, staff recommends approval of the map correction on map 71.
Okay, thank you. If the commission so chooses, we will be entertaining a motion to waive same-day action, followed by a motion to accept staff's recommendation. We'll do those in two separate motions.
I move to waive the requirements for same-day action.
Thank you, Commissioner Bennett. Do we have a second?
Support.
All right, I'm gonna go with Vice Chair. You got the last one. All right, all in support of approving the motion to waive the requirements of same-day action, indicate your support with the sign of aye.
Aye.
Aye, and all in opposition, sign of nay. All right, that motion passes. The requirements for same-day action have been waived. Next, we have looking to entertain a motion to approve staff's recommendation as presented.
I'd like to make a motion to approve staff's recommendation to apply the correction of zoning map 71.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Do we have a second? Thank you, Commissioner Bennett. All in support of approving staff's recommendation regarding the correction of zoning map 71, indicate your support with the sign of aye.
Aye.
Aye. And all in opposition, sign of nay. All right, all the motions have passed, so that will be forwarded to council, correct? Can you kind of give us some next steps for this item?
Sure, I just want to add some more additional information for the public. Occasionally over the years, sometimes zoning on different zoning on different areas disappears mysteriously, and whenever we find it, we try to bring it to the commission and council to correct the scrivener's error. It doesn't happen a lot, but it has happened a few times over the years. And so next step is really we'll type up a report similar to what we presented to the commission, and then we'll submit that to council starting in January for their consideration, and they'll have a resolution. And then we also prepared a corrected zoning map, which you might have a copy of, which shows what the new map will look like.
Yes.
So we just wanted to clean that up.
Okay, thank you. Do you have an idea on when this may be going to council?
To the chair, I assume it'll be going the first week they return, first week or second week of January.
Definitely January. Okay. All right, sounds good. All right. Thank you, Mr. Gulak. Thank you, Mr. Burrow. All right, next we have, we moved a little fast. Can we take the 6:15? It's a presentation. Can we take it earlier? We can. Okay.
To the chair, yes, you may start that earlier.
All right, so we will take our 6:15 presentation a little early. This is status of past and forthcoming CPC agenda items.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. This is kind of an informal where we've been with council and where we're going with the commission and the council. So it's pretty informal. But we want to bring the commission up to speed on projects you've worked on. So I'll have my coworkers chime in as needed, but just to give you a quick overview, council's last session was on November 25th. And then, as you know, we'll be getting some new, so they tried to take care of most of their business before the year ended. And we'll be having two new council members in January. And just to give a brief summary of some of the projects that you've seen. So it was kind of a whirlwind end there to try to, the mayor and trying to get projects approved before the end of the year. Just to give you a brief update, on some of the projects that you've looked at since July 1st. So some things have not gone to council yet. They're still at law department for review. So just, those ones are Garden View Estates, which you recently recommended approval on, I believe in early November. Yeah, November 6th. And so that one's still at law department. And then other projects there, that Alice Burney that project in, near Livernois and Davison is a new housing project. That one's still at law department as well. Let's see, and then, but some things that council did approve that we want you to inform you about is the Goat Yard Marina, which you recommended approval for. That did get voted on at council on their last day to rezone that land to allow that new marina to go forward. Other projects they approved was the redevelopment of the Uniroyal site. You know, there was that, it's not a rezoning, but there was an SD4 site plan review that you recommended approval of, I believe on November 6th as well. That went to council, so that was voted on, along with several tax breaks, I believe, at council. And then the Detroit City Football Club, which staff participated with on the Community Benefits Ordinance Review, and that did get voted on council's last day as well. And then one of the big ones that we worked on that the Planning Commission was a valuable review was the adaptive reuse of institutional buildings. And that did get approved on council's last day as well. And lastly, I think one of the big projects that got approved was the screening ordinance. Finally got approved. That was really debated over a lot and edited and tweaked. And council on their last day approved the screening ordinance. So a lot of these will go into effect 8 days after the city clerk publishes them. So we're not exactly sure when. Some of these are voluminous ordinances, 100 pages long. So hopefully the clerk can print them in December or January. And as soon as they get printed, then they'll become effective 8 days after they're printed in the legal news. And then we'll really work with the building department in the interim to ramp up, implementation of those new ordinances. And then two big text amendments that did not get voted on. The first one was that 6th general text amendment. And you may recall that's a rather lengthy ordinance, kind of cleaning up some different items in the ordinance. It did deal with some various things as well, and council just didn't have time. It wasn't comfortable approving it before their session, so they did pass an extension to bring it back to council in the new year, and they give an extension until May 7th of 2026. So hopefully that will get on council's agenda in January and February, and they may need to have a new public hearing on that, but I'm not positive. And then lastly, there was that big ordinance coming out of the Chief Operating Officer's office. I think it was called the Pro Housing Grant to try to encourage more units in R2 and some parking changes. And council just, council didn't have time and wasn't comfortable with voting on that before. So they did pass an extension for consideration, which goes through early June of 2026. So the good news is they did pass the adaptive reuse and the screening ordinance, but regarding the 6th general and the the CUO, what's the name of that? Not pro housing. It's Build More Housing, I think it's called. That one has to come back to council in the new year.
Question.
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry if you're going to get to it and I'm jumping ahead. Dr. Bolger's amendments, he was working on PDs.
Yes.
And I think they were like 13, 12 we were okay with. And I thought one was still in conversation, or I think that one came back. Just do you recall where that one ended, or if council got to those?
To the chair, are you referring to that so he's been working on cleaning up dormant PDs or PDs that were never developed. And one of them was that big one in Northwest Detroit, map 71, which had several different parcels. That one's still at, I believe the DPW is reviewing the legal description. It's rather complex, and then we have to get that approved by law departments. That one's still hasn't been forwarded to council yet.
Just that one or all of them?
So that's one of them. Yeah. So that's one. The map 71 PD. There's the Alice Burney. There's the Gleewa Pump Station on Frood Street. That one's still, the legal and the ordinance are still being reviewed by the law department. There was that small community center they wanted to build in Northwest Goldberg on 15th Street. I don't know if you recall that one. That one's still being reviewed by the law department. So there are about 6 ordinances that haven't been presented to council yet. And then there's also that other one at Warren and Trumbull at the southeast corner. The land bank wanted to market that vacant land for new development behind the church, and that one's still being processed by. So unfortunately, there are about 6 or 7 that are still being worked on through law department and DPW to kind of review the language of the ordinance. I guess there's some more I'm seeing here now. The Schwitz, you may recall that one. That one's still. The ordinance is just got approved, so we got to send that to ordinance. We got to send it to city council in the new year. And then there was a big down zoning kind of near 96 and Southfield between Greenfield. There's that concrete crushing facility. That one's a real complicated legal as well. So we're working with DPW and law department to finish that ordinance. So I think those are the major ones, outstanding ones that are still pending the city council.
Okay.
And then I have a snapshot for the commission for the start of 2026, unless you have any questions about what you've done the last.
One question.
Yep. Commissioner Daniels. Microphone.
Now, that project that we were talking about, I think Ms. Webb was working on it from, on Davidson, the flower shop.
Oh, yeah.
That's still tabled, or?
Yeah, I can, to the chair, or through the chair, yeah, there was a proposed garden bug on Davison and Petoskey. It was a little bit controversial. I think the commission recommended denial because the site just wasn't deep enough. It was parking. It went to council and they deliberated in, I think, October. And in the end, they decided to, I believe, I can't remember if they had a public hearing or not. But in the end, they decided to accept the commission's recommendation for denial. And they're trying to work with the petitioner to find a different location, hopefully on Dexter, that might suit her. So I think she's working with the administration to see if she can find another location. But the council accepted the commission's recommendation. Did I get that right?
Through the chair, yes, that is correct. And they did hold a public hearing on the matter.
Thank you. All right, you can keep going, Mr. Goulart.
Thank you. Let's check this here. Okay, and then for early 2026, we do have some bigger projects in the pipeline that will probably be coming your way.
Thank you.
One is let's see, yes, the land bank does have, it appears some vacant land they want to market, and some of it's zone PD, so it's part of that effort to resolve the non-developed PD. So one of them is it's the northwest corner of Martin Luther King and Grand River. So it's technically considered core city neighborhood. There's some vacant land. There's a restaurant near there, and there's a senior building, I think. So they have some vacant land there they want to redevelop, but some of it's zone PD. So they're Dolores Perales is working on that one. We hope to bring that to the commission in January. Let's see, and then a second big one is the land north of 94, south of West Warren. So right on the expressway is a big triangular piece of land near the old Kronk Gym where it used to be located. East of Tisson Steel. Used to be residential, used to be a play field there, but it's really it's pretty much all vacant now. And the administration is partnering to try to redevelop that with a light industrial use. So they've been starting some community meetings, but that would need to be rezoned, I believe, from residential to M2, industrial, light industrial, so restricted industrial. So that one will probably be coming to the commission in February. but they're having they're starting the process of numerous community meetings on that one. And then the third one is the Rogel Golf Course. The DEGC, as you may know, put out an RFP, and they selected a preferred developer, and they're working on the site plan now to put some multifamily development there, and so that needs a master plan change as well as rezoning, so that should be coming to the commission in January, February as well. See if I get anything else. That really concludes my overview of what things that are coming. I don't know if the staff want to chime in at all with any other, or if you have any questions.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Gulak. Thank you for the update. Commissioners, do you have any questions? Commissioner Bennett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, will the redevelopment of the Renaissance Center and corresponding lots be something at some point in 2026?
Through the chair, great question. As you may know, the Renaissance Center is zoned PD, plan development, so the commission and the council do have some jurisdiction. I think it's really going to depend on the new administration, the new mayor-elect, and so we haven't heard anything lately. We've heard, some more tenants are moving out, but we haven't heard anything that's pending. But I guess we'd stay tuned. I think it'll probably be brought up in 2026, though.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. Commissioner Harrison.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Gulak, for walking us through the updates. Did we get through all of the lapsed PDs in this year, or are there more that may come before us in 2026?
Good question.
Through the chair, overall, there's about 400 and plus PDs, but a lot of them are developed. But there are quite a few. There's a handful that are vacant. We haven't not gotten through all of them. So that'll be a continual process to try to identify where we want to go next and bring them to the commission. Yeah, some are real small, that never got developed, but we do hope to keep bringing them to the commission as we can, as we have capacity. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I do have another question. Two questions. 375, we haven't heard from in a while, and the master plan, we haven't heard in a while. You have any updates on those, or if they may be coming in the 26?
To the chair, 375, I haven't been attending those meetings, but I know it was reported in the press recently that MDOT is redoing the plan, and I think part of it was they weren't going to include the reconstruction of, I-75 as it goes south to west. So they're changing the scope of the plan, but in terms of the latest status, I do not have that. Unless anyone else does.
I can speak to the master plan. I can speak to the master plan.
So 375, I think is the scope of it has been edited to address some of the community concerns, but I haven't heard the latest status of that.
Do you anticipate that they'll come back to us before they start making their formal request, or is that something maybe you can check on?
To the chair, yes, we can try to follow up on that.
Yeah.
The former planner Markowitz was a member of that committee, so we'll try to get an update on that.
Right.
And then Mr. Jeffrey has an update on the master plan.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. So just to piggyback off from Mr. Gulak, we can definitely bring more information on the I-375 project. It has been some time since we've met with the Planning and Development Department on that. The last meeting that we've held was a staff level meeting regarding that, but it's been some time. So we can touch base with them and bring more information regarding that. As it relates to the master plan, we are meeting with the Planning and Development Department on that. They actually held 3 meetings this week, 3 public meetings. And currently they are meeting with the public as it relates to what they're calling place types. So today, the master plan deals with the future general land use typologies, if you will, and those correspond to the zoning districts. And so they're going, they're having sessions throughout the city, which 3 of those they had this week, and then also internally with city staff, just to give feedback on what will become place types for the future master plan. So that's currently where they are at. We're working with them to identify a date for them to come back to this honorable body, and also working on what the best format would be, giving some of the restrictions that you all have for you to be able to give input and feedback on that content, knowing that you will want to have input in that process as well. So given the restrictions, the Open Meetings Act, but also being able to allow you all to have some substantive feedback in those discussions. We're looking to see how we can best do that. And so we're looking at the top of the new year to be able to bring you in on that discussion. So if you all have any ideas on how we can meet the letter of the law as it pertains to Open Meetings Act, but also garner your feedback on that.
Is most of the challenge trying to avoid establishing a quorum if we were to attend?
Yeah, definitely, yes.
So only, three or 4 could attend at a time?
Yes. Yes, and I think there's a matter of meeting the letter of the law, but then I also want to give preference to Director Todd, just as a matter of, even if we meet the letter of the law, also making sure we don't, we don't give the look or feel that something untoward is taking place,
Understood.
So just trying to make sure that we are doing it in the best format as possible.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
That does.
So, okay, so if you all have any ideas, and we can work with Director Todd and the planning and development staff to make that happen. But we are having that discussion to at least, at minimum, identify a date for them to come back before the entire commission to give you, at minimum, an update, but also a format to be able to have a more in-depth conversation as well on some of the content, and have more of a discussion and opportunity to give your input.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
So we'll look forward to the first quarter,
Yeah,
2026.
Definitely first quarter.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. I think that concludes my questions. I don't see any other questions here from the dais. So, Mr. Gulak, I think that's all we had. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Jeffrey, for the update. Is there anything else you would like to include before we continue to our next item?
Mr. Chair, I did want to add that staff is we got a little bit behind on our annual report, which is required to be done on a yearly basis by state law. So we're hoping to bring the 2024, 2025 annual report to you in January, February. And then we hope to bring it, the 25, 26 to you in July or September. So we're trying to catch up with that. And so working on that. And so the commission's done a lot in the past year, and we've highlighted a lot of them, but I forgot to mention some like solar and the Motown Museum and Merritt Park, which is being constructed there off of 96, and so the commission's done a lot of great work, but we'll have that in the annual report for your review in the new year.
think we owe legal a Christmas card or something.
And I forgot, Mr. Chair, I forgot to mention the Detroit Farm and Cider project there got approved.
That's the urban farming one, the small one.
Yeah.
What about it was the church, and they wanted to do I don't want to call them tiny homes, but they were like dwelling units, smaller dwelling units. Do you recall that one?
Yes, to the chair, great question, and I just got a call from them yesterday. So he said he had challenges, finding. So he wanted, for those to remind folks of that one, a developer on the east side wanted to bring in tiny homes off of Sylvester in Pennsylvania, next to that church he bought, and he had trouble getting financing. He reached out to a lot of different folks, and but he said, ironically, with the new administration in Washington, there's more funding available for transitional housing now. So he said in the past there was less on transitional housing, but more spent on permanent housing and shelters. But now the new initiatives for transitional housing. So he was going to give up on the project, but now he said he's dusting it off and he's hoping to apply to HUD for transitional housing dollars. So he said the application's due next week. So we can try to keep the commission informed if that one moves forward. But the site plan would stay the same. So he's excited about it, but it all depends on funding.
Okay. Good. All right. Well, thank you. Thanks for the updates. And looks like we've had a busy year, so I think we'll look forward to 26 being equally busy. All right. So moving on, we have one unfinished business item. This is the proposed CPC meeting schedule for 2026. Commissioners, that schedule is in your packet. There was a note to change the 2025 date. Director Todd did send out an email, if you have not noticed, with the corrected date, 2025, at the bottom of that first paragraph. And I believe, if I recall correctly, we had to kind of make a decision regarding these July dates. And I think we picked 16 and 30. I don't know if anyone else recalls that.
I recall that.
16 and 30. Okay. So it was July 2nd or 16 or 16 or 30. And I think we picked July 16th and July 30th. Yep. Right, on July, 2 days before the 4th. All right, so if there are no additional changes to the agenda, we are looking for a motion to approve the agenda with the noted change for adopted, the last paragraph for the adopted dates for the meetings of 2020, and also noting to select the July 16th and the July 30th dates for our official meeting dates in July. Thank you for the motion, Commissioner Daniels. Do we have a second? Thank you, Commissioner Bennett. All in support of approving the 2026 CPC meeting schedule with the noted changes indicate your support with the sign of aye.
Aye.
Aye. And all in opposition, sign of nay. All right, there are no nays. The 2026 CPC meeting schedule has been approved. Next, we have new business. We have no new business items. Mr. Gulak, do we have any staff reports?
Mr. Chair, there is no staff report.
All right. If there are no staff reports, commissioners, do we have any member reports?
No member report, but I do have a question
Yes.
related to, we moved past the dates, and just if I could ask a quick question about the dates.
Yep.
Not in relation to the dates themselves, but just, I know that we typically do one meeting per year out in the community. Is there a date that is specified of when we'll likely be out? Has that been selected, or is that typically something that we decide?
I vaguely recall us talking about that the last meeting, and I believe Director Todd said he has to
Okay.
coordinate a date and figure out I'm just coming back. He said those community meetings are usually associated with an item that is
Okay.
related to that area. So I think he says if we get one that kind of lines up with an opportunity, he'll work to coordinate that.
Okay,
I believe that's what the plan was.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, no problem. All right, any other member reports? All right, if there are none, Mr. Gulak, do we have any communications?
Mr. Chair, we do not have any communications.
All right, as there are no communications, the time is 6:18, and we will adjourn this meeting. What?